Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Broku no Hero. Today is a versus battle between Asta of Black Clover versus Class 1A of My Hero Academia. Two of these series are both some of my favorite series. Like, when it comes to ongoing series for any sort of fiction right now, number one, Black Clover. Number two, My Hero Academia. So these are my two favorite series. And the reason why I'm doing this is because Asta versus Deku, or the Black Bulls versus Class 1A, is by far the biggest video recommendation I get the most. And it really makes sense. Both are very popular series. Both are prevalent on my channel, as I've made several videos on both series. And both of the main characters have some similar starting premises, where they both were in a powered up world without any power. And I've really been kind of holding this video off just because, you know, Black Clover stands and My Hero Academia stands can really get pretty toxic between each other. And it sucks, because most people I know in real life who either like Black Clover or like My Hero Academia, they actually like both. I've always liked both. It's just, I don't know, there's that subsection of the fandom for both series that hate each other for some reason. But either way, I'm going to do this video because it's still the most recommended video, so I should do it because that's what you guys want me to make. So I'm going to do it, but kind of in a different variation of Asta versus Class 1A. And that's just because, unfortunately, Black Clover scales way above My Hero Academia in power, so Asta can actually handle a battle against all 20 members of Class 1A. And one thing I do want to bring up is, I know a lot of you guys are waiting in anticipation for my versus battle video of the Black Bulls versus 7 Deadly Sins, which I'm still working on that. That should be out in a few months, mainly because I'm waiting for the fight against the Demon King to end. But what I've been getting a lot is, just do Black Bulls versus Class 1A instead. And I would love to do that video, but it would just be an extremely boring video, and put in way too much effort for something that's so obvious. The Black Bulls would effortlessly slaughter Class 1A. In fact, characters like Yami, Asta, Noelle, Luck, Gauche, Zora, Charmy, Vanessa, maybe even Magna would all solo Class 1A themselves. Yes, I'm not even kidding. It is very possible that Magna, freaking Magna, would solo Class 1A. In fact, possibly with low difficulty, or no difficulty at all. If you have several characters on the Black Bulls that could solo Class 1A, but then you put all of them together and throw in abilities like Gauche making clones of himself and his allies, Vanessa's fate manipulation, it's just going to be very boring. It's going to be an absolute slaughter. So, I get what you're probably saying right now. Broku, you're just saying these people would solo Class 1A without even providing an argument. And that's true for now, but that's just because it's the beginning of the video. Don't worry, basically the rest of this video is going to be about scaling the two different sides, seeing who would win. Why Asta would solo Class 1A. Now, I did a video of Asta versus Deku roughly a year ago on my other channel, but the scaling meta for base Asta has improved drastically. And one thing I do want to mention in this versus battle is, it's replacing the week's regular scheduled versus battle series that I've been doing the last couple. Basically, whenever I do an alternative versus battle, I will replace my regular community-driven versus battle series, as I don't want to do more than one versus battle per week. And I do want to say before this is that, guys, power scaling and versus battles has nothing to do with the quality of series. Well, in a way it can. I guess it is a factor of how good a series can be, depending on that person's subjectivity. But it doesn't decide, it is not the sole decider of what is better. You can love Black Clover, you can love My Hero Academia, you can like My Hero Academia better than Black Clover. I just want to bring that up because this probably will get toxic in the comments down below. But anyways, guys, let's get into this video on why Asta would solo Class 1A. Let's start by mentioning all the other members of Class 1A to see who Asta will be facing off against. We have Izuku Midoriya, Bakugo, Todoroki, Kirishima, Oshako, Tokoyami, Mineta, Momo Yairosa, Toru Hagakure, Hanto Sero, Kyoki Jiro, Shoji, Rikido Sato, Koji Koda, Kaminari, Ojiro, Tenyarita, Frappi, Minya Ashido, Yuga Oyama. Yes, that is 20 members that Asta will have to face off against. Not 1 versus 1. It's a 20 versus 1 scenario. So let's find out the stats and abilities of these characters in Class 1A. We're going to give them a range of speed, attack potency, and durability, and also talk about their other powers and how it can affect the battle. The high-end speed feats for Class 1A is in the Hypersonic Plus ranges of speed. Characters like Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki, and maybe even Ida should scale to these speeds. The Hypersonic Plus scaling comes from Deku being faster than Ida's Recipro Burst, which was stated to be even faster than Gran Torino, whom Gran Torino himself scales to being Hypersonic Plus. For those of you who don't know what Hypersonic Plus is a tier of speed that takes place between Mach 10 and Mach 25, which that would mean 10 to 25 times the speed of sound, whereas at the very least, even the slowest members of the class should be in superhuman to subsonic speeds. Now as for the attack potency, the Class 1A members' top tiers can scale to be above city block level. This is because Muscular had this level of feat when he caused a small earthquake. Now to be noted, this feat could be scaled higher since it could have reached further ranges, but we don't know how far it reached because it just reached the characters that provided the exposition for that. So this is a lowballed feat, but still Deku at above 100% using his false 1,000,000% defeated Muscular. So I guess we could say that multi-city block level for Deku when he uses 100%. But those type of attacks would hurt him. A more consistent level for Deku's attack potency would be large building level or like low city block level with his higher percentages. And yes, 1,000,000% Deku is not actually 1,000,000%. It's just above 100%. The author even stated it was just an emotional outcry for Deku because it probably felt like he's going 1,000,000%, not actually putting out 1,000,000%. If he, in theory, did put out 1,000,000%, he would die. As for durability, the top tiers also should have durability similar to that of their attack potency, as that is basically what has been displayed in the series so far, except for, I guess, characters like Kirishima. He likely can survive attacks more than his attack potency can output. That's because he has a hardening quirk. But people like Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki, usually what they can output is what they can also intake or input. So you can scale Deku's durability to the same level of his attack potency, which would be large building level or like city block level or multi-city. And I want to say that scaling Deku's percentages off of All Might's percentages, as in saying that 10% of Deku is 10% of All Might, that's erroneous. When he uses 100%, he is not hitting as hard as All Might, and when he is using 10%, he is not using 10% of All Might's power. I have a whole video on the subject below, or link that down below, so I'm not going to be going into detail on why that's not how it works. I'll just leave that link below so you can go watch it, and this video can just keep moving along. I'm going to also say that people are going to argue that Ayama is light speed. It's not really the case. His speed in the guidebook is only a 3 out of 5. If his laser was truly light speed, he should be way faster than that. As Gran Torino, who has these stated speeds, Gran Torino is way faster than Ayama, so it's not light speed. But anyways, let's talk about the individuals of Class 1A and their powers, what they can add to the battle with their power outside of speed, durability, and attack potency. So Deku is One for All, which amplifies his physicals, but doesn't really do anything outside of it. He does have Black Whip, but he can't really control it, and since he can only control it with lesser percentages, it's not really going to be effective in this battle. Todoroki's Ice and Fire, he can amplify them to large scales and can activate them very quickly, but in terms of how fast and how it can affect Asta, I'll explain why Todoroki's attacks would not really affect him. Bakugo manipulates the nitroglycerin that he sweats to cause explosions, which augments his speed and attacks and gives him wide ranges, but again, I'll go into why these wouldn't affect Asta. Kirishima hardens his skin. It's not really much of an ability that will affect this battle. Now with Shako, her quirk gives her the power to manipulate gravity upon touching them, or touching the objects or the person. The target would lose their gravitational pull, making them weightless, and she's also able to cancel the effect of this. But while the quirk could actually be pretty useful in this battle, she's not going to be nowhere near fast enough to actually touch Asta, and anything she touches, it would need to be like an outer help battle where somebody like gives an extremely heavy object to a Chaco, she touches it, lifts it in the air, and then drops it. I mean, they would have to be extremely heavy, like many, many millions, if not more, tons of weight to actually kill Asta. So, and even then, he'd probably just outrun it. So, while her quirk could be effective if she was faster, it's not going to be effective because Asta's way faster. Jiro's earphone jack quirk can manipulate sound, and it's a pretty good quirk in My Academia, and it's really good for surveillance, but it doesn't have enough tangible effect in this battle as a battle. This was maybe a war, and there was more My Academia characters, and she was like listening to the plans of Black Clover characters. She could be pretty useful by using this quirk, but yeah, it's not affecting the battle. Then we have Honto's tape. Yeah, I don't think I need to say much about that. And finally, who against most characters in Black Clover would be useful, Invisible Girl. Unfortunately for her though, Asta has Ki and can sense people who are invisible. He did this against Gildray. So, Invisible Girl, while she would be effective because Asta couldn't see her, she still wouldn't be able to hurt him. But, I mean, she could outlast maybe. But the thing is, Asta has Ki, so he's just going to sense her anyways. If Asta didn't have Ki, that would add maybe a bit of interesting flair to this. But since he has Ki, it doesn't affect anything at all. Also, just effectively see her through Ki. Now, on to Asta scaling. Now, when it comes to I guess, describing Asta, if he were in the My Academia world, imagine Hero Killer Stain, but many, many times stronger and more durable, and many, 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 many thousands or 10,000s of times faster than Stain. Now, Stain is probably a better swordsman though, but still, the analogy basically fits. Imagine that fight of Deku, Todoroki, and Ida versus Stain, but add those measurables to Stain. Even if Stain was just a few times stronger and more durable and 10 times faster, he would have effortlessly Courage Stomped that 3-student combo. Let alone Asta, who would be many thousands of times above that. Now, there is a few notions about Asta when it comes to like versus battles. People say, oh, it's not magic, therefore Asta's used in this battle. Let's say, oh, Asta has an Olympic level speed and strength and has good reaction time, but it just has an anti-magic sword. He's useless besides that, which is complete bullshit. Almost anybody who uses the argument, either they just don't scale or they didn't even read Black Clover. But anyways, they're just gonna debunk that notion of Olympic level speed. Basically, Asta would stomp Class 1A without even needing his swords, just with pure physical strength. For example, his attack potency was able to knock out a high level tier mage in Voltos, knocked back a captain level mage in Third Eye Raya, and in terms of his durability, was able to survive an attack from Spirit Ladros, whose attacks absolute lowball town level, but since the fire spirit can be scaled to small country level, because the guidebook states the spirit could vaporize the sea with his talons, and Ladros, after absorbing the spirit, was said to have surpassed it. And by the way, that vaporizing a sea is calced to be a lowball small country level feat. So current base Asta, basically an older base Asta, survived a small country level attack, and current base Asta would be much more durable than that. Again, that's not Asta using his anti-magic to survive the feat, him surviving through sheer physical strength. Now, before I get back to attack potency feats for Asta, I'm going to get into his speed, since that is his most concrete scaling we have for Asta. Even in his base form, he scales to be many times faster than the speed of light. We know that light magic can move at light speed in Black Clover, as this was stated multiple times. Even the first Wizard King moved across the country in an instant, which was stated to be moving at light speed, and he's actually not only weakened, but heavily suppressing himself. Also, before you go and say that mangaka Yuki Tabata isn't smart enough to give Black Clover characters light speed, that's bullshit, as his previous battle shonen was physics based. So, if you even read half of Hungry Joker, you know that Yuki Tabata knows what he's doing when he's writing this story. I'm also going to link videos down below on why light speed and faster than light speeds are a thing in Black Clover, including some forum posts. Now, I'm not going to fully defend light speed in this video, it's just going to be redundant. That's why I'm going to link things below. Anyways, Raya, while suppressed in his base form, was faster than Patri, who at a low ball was light speed, but can actually be scaled to faster than light. Raya used light magic attacks in his 100% power Third Eye state, making his attacks even faster than Patri, and Mirleona countered all of these attacks, and this feat has been calculated to be 95 times faster than the speed of light. I'll leave that calculation and link below. And well, base Asta, right before punching Raya in the feat mentioned prior, actually outran this attack from Mereoleona at least several times, but we'll just say that he was equal. Say he ran at 95 times the speed of light. And as for the scaling of actual speed, it's going to be redundant because even the fastest Class 1A member isn't even close to 0.1% of light speed, yet Asta is 95 times faster than light speed. Black Asta would be many times faster than that, but like I really said, we don't even need to use Asta's black form. Base Asta could win this. Now back to Asta's attack potency. A lot of people think that Asta's attack potency is only defined by anti-magic, and that his regular attack potency isn't that high. Therefore, regular physical attacks or attacks through energy that isn't magic is not going to be that strong. He won't be able to counter it or survive it. But people are even suggesting that Asta isn't even building level, which is actually pretty easily debunked when characters like Mereoleona, as a young child, could destroy a building with a punch. The only way to assume Asta isn't at least building level is if you assume this young child, Mereoleona, is stronger than Asta. Whereas if you replaced Mereoleona as a child and she punched Raya instead of Asta, you really think she's going to do the same damage? No, she's not. So Asta is definitely way above building level in attack potency. And like I said, he with a punch damaged Voltos, who should be, I guess, way above building level, and Third Eye Raya, who is captain level, and you can basically give Asta probably mountain level attack potency with the punch. But anyways, one way to scale Asta's attack potency is based off a feat from the lore, where Jack the Ripper, while fighting Yami, shaved off a mountain. But Jack's power works via adaptive magic level, where his slash magic adapts to his opponent, which means his magic was adapting to Yami's magic, which makes it so that Yami himself should have a strong attack potency, which means that Yami could also shave a mountain off. It is important to note that this is a younger and weaker version of these characters, so if even the Yami at that time of the statement of the cave fight was above this, well, Patru is above Yami, the Third Eye were far above Patri. Like I said, base suppressed Raya was far above Patri, so in his full power transformation state would be much greater than that. Then Raya transformed into an elf, which would be several times greater than that. Then he teamed up with 4 other elves to multiply that power by 5. Zora's trap magic multiplied it by 2 times twice, which quadrupled it, and Asta countered this attack. There is a misconception that Asta can redirect any magical attack, no matter how strong it is. That actually isn't true. Asta can cut or destroy magic, no matter how strong it is, but when it comes to actually redirecting and reflecting it, Asta has to actually be strong enough to deflect it. This is actually proven multiple times now. Asta could not reflect the Ray of Divine Punishment from Patri in the cave, but was able to reflect the Elven combo spell even when it was multiplied to be 4 times stronger. The regular combo spell, before even being amplified, the trap magic, could scale way above Patri's Ray of Divine Punishment. Then there's the case of Dark Elf Patri's Ray of Divine Punishment, which was so strong that Asta needed to be in his amped black form and have the aid of Yuno in his amped Elven Spirit Dive form to reflect it back. If Asta could reflect anything, then he would, no difficulty, not needing any help to do it. He wouldn't have struggled against the demon version of the Ray of Divine Punishment. Anyways, you may disagree and say that the Demon Slayer's sword does some or a lot of the work when he swings the sword and reflects it, but it's not really relevant. Even if the Demon Slayer's sword did 99% of the work, and Asta's physical power was only a 1% in the equation, well, this combo spell, which would easily be island level at this point, since a younger Yami had the attack potency equivalent of shaving off of a mountain, scaling up, Raya would be well above mountain level, then multiply by 20, we can say that it's a lowball island level feat, which is 4.3 gigatons of force. Well, if Asta's 1% of the power, we can still divide by 100, and Asta would be city level, still well above the members of Class 1A. But assuming Asta is only 1% of the force behind the equation of his swings is kind of assumptuous. Since his progression is tied to his physical strength, maybe the Demon Slayer sword, the anti-magic, takes some of the force, but assuming his 99% or more is pretty erroneous. So Asta is at least a relative portion of what he strikes with, which means even if he, was hitting energy that wasn't magic, he'd still be able to knock it away as long as it was relative to that magic power that he's reflecting. Third Eye Raya's durability scales way above the durability of Class 1A, since he was surviving attacks from Mereoleona, who's a captain, and scales far above the Yami, who scales above the Mountain Shaving Feet. So with that being said, let's talk about this battle. Asta has advanced senses with his ki, would be able to easily sense 20 of the class members, even Invisible Girl. As for speed, Asta would be able to casually blitz all of them at once, since the difference between Hypersonic Plus and 95 times faster than light is actually well over a 1 million times speed difference. So not only is Asta blitzing Class 1A, but none of their attacks would even hit Asta, none would even damage him if they did hit him, and Asta would be strong enough to completely eviscerate anyone from Class 1A in a single blow. Even if you downplay Asta and wank Deku, it's still a wash. Even if you go out on a limb and go against the word of God and say that 1,000,000% Detroit Smash is actually 1,000,000% of One For All, you can just scale 1,000,000% Deku to be 1,000 times faster and stronger than 100% Deku. That multi-city block level, which is what 100% Deku is at, times 1,000 is just large town level or small city level, which Asta still scales above that. And Hypersonic Plus goes to the 25 times speed of sound, times 1,000 is 25,000 times the speed of sound, which is about 3% light speed in the tier of sub-relativistic. So even wanked Deku doesn't compare to Asta, not even close in speed, durability, or strength. Asta would casually win this battle. Unfortunately, My Academia isn't at the same level of Black Clover yet. I wouldn't be surprised if Deku, by the end of the series, where you can use 100% of All For One, has 7 quirks mastered, and has surpassed Prime All Might, could actually be pretty strong even in Black Clover standards. Again, I've been putting out this video for a while because of the possible toxicity between My Academia and Black Clover stands at times. But since a similar video was the most requested, I had to do this so you guys can start suggesting other great video ideas. Once I do this, you guys can stop suggesting Asta versus Deku, or the Black Bulls versus the Class 1A. You could do like other Black Clover matchup against other series. You don't have to suggest Black Bulls versus Emulate Sins because I'm working on that video, or working on research for that video. But anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...